Okay, today we're going to make some of my world famous dessert style coleslaw. It's sweet, it's creamy, flavorful, has fruit in it. It's just amazing. I've had raves over my coleslaw. Right now I'm dicing up some bell peppers. They don't have to be perfectly diced, but you want to have the pieces relatively small. You don't want too many big pieces in there. And what I've got here is about 2/3 of a bell pepper. I was doing that to let you see what dicing is all about. If you've got a few big pieces in there, you can go back and run your knife through them again, okay, and cut them down to a little smaller size. They don't have to be real small, just smaller pieces. Okay, we're going to stop here for a few minutes while I get ready for the next step, and you can see what goes on from here. Okay, I should tell you now, you're going to need a very large bowl for this. This is the one I've got. It's really not as big as I'd like, but it's what I've got. It's the largest I've got. We're going to be doing this with 1 head of cabbage. Sometimes I find I don't have room in the bowl, so I will curtail a little bit my usage of the cabbage. You want to get rid of these outer leaves and remove them from the cabbage head itself. These are the ones that kind of protect the cabbage head while they're in shipment and in the store, and you want to remove these. Now, when you get your cabbage down to about like this here, this is a good solid head of cabbage. You're ready to proceed with the cabbage. For right now, I'm just going to set it aside, and I'm going to shred some carrots and have you see the operation in shredding carrots. It's pretty simple. You need one of these, a shredder. Some people use a food processor. I don't bother with a food processor. You have more trouble cleaning it up when you're done than you would have in the time you save, in my opinion. This has worked fine for years. You just slide it down the large whole face shredder on the hand shredder, okay, or shred it into pieces about like this, okay, so that it blends with your coleslaw. And I'm going to pause here for a few minutes till I get my carrots shredded, and then we'll move on to the cabbage, and I'll show you that. Okay, this is not a very large head of cabbage, so I opted for just 2 carrots and that 2/3 of a bell pepper. This now goes into my bowl. I shake off as much of the carrots as I can get, and then I'll rinse it because I just like to have a clean place to work. And now I'm going to my cabbage. Well, what I'm going to be doing is splitting the cabbage. Now, I'm kind of not so much in favor of using the stalk of the cabbage, so I kind of like to cut it about the middle of the stalk, like so, and slice down as far as I can into that so that I can get at the stalk. Now, you'll notice there's still a little bit left on this side, but not very much. And I've tried to have my stalk on the outer edge. Okay, now I can go in and I can knock out the worst of that stalk, okay, by just making a few simple cuts and prying a little bit. It's not always that easy. A little twist of the blade usually does it. And I've gotten rid of the worst of the stalk. There's still some left up in here, but that'll give me something to hold on to as I work. Now, I like different kinds of shards in my cabbage. I like some real fine. I like some a little thicker. So what I do is I start with my blade and I start shredding cabbage. This is the longer shards of cabbage. You'll notice I'm trying to be rather thin. And I'm going to go back on some of this because the way this head has grown, These large chunks just aren't going to get it. So I'm going to kind of shred them up a little bit more. As I get more into the meat of the plant, you'll see that the shards are coming off a little bit longer. I still keep trimming them so that they're not too terribly big, but I want them a little bit larger, a little bit longer, so it gives a little bit more airiness to the coleslaw. And any of those really big coarse pieces that I find in there like that, I go ahead and eliminate those by cutting them up. And I do about half the head in shards with my knife.